We are the people! We are the people! We are the people!
If you want to rattle a snake, you must be prepared to be bitten by it.
Did you really bring your mind to bear? Did you really focus and understand what you were doing? So that when you made the decision, you were convinced, whether wrong or right, you were convinced that you understood the situation.
Intolerance. We are brewing intolerance. Ukisikia mtu hataki kusikia upinzani wa chochote, hiyo si nzuri. Hata soka haiwezi chezwa kama timu sio mbili.
We call upon every Kenyan to be tolerant. Democracy cannot operate unless we are tolerant. You tolerate your friend, your neighbor, to have an opinion different from yours.
Proactive is the show. Welcome back. It's been a minute, more than a minute. It's been weeks, but we are glad to be back. Hi, Timo.
Habari ya leo.
Wow.
It's good to have you around. Good to be back.
Yes, and a lot has happened while we were away.
For sure.
Yeah.
So kwa diani venye producer amekata tulizane vitu zingine.
Yeah.
It's gonna be going to struggle.
But let me just ask, is there anything new in your life?
Nothing much.
Ah, okay. So let's discuss then what's new in Kenya.
Yeah, we've been away for a while. A lot has happened. Mm-hmm. We are in jail again for another few months.
In jail?
Oh, that's what I call cessation of movement.
Oh, lockdown.
Bana.
Is it really jail?
Mi kwangu ni jela manze.
No, but I believe we're allowed to move to Machakos, to Kiambu.
Who wants... No hard feelings for Machakos. I know you have People's Park. But me, Easter weekend, it was Mombasa for me.
Oh.
You know? Yeah. Probably Easter weekend for you was to be Kisumu.
Maybe Shags, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been like, see, we just go check things how they are. And you have your peeps there. Mm-hmm. You just passed by and said hi. But Easter nilihave kuikulia kwa nyumba.
Yeah, but I think it was necessary. It is a necessary containment.
It was not necessary.
I'm told, na nimesikia ati ever since the president gave these directives, the number of COVID cases have also reduced. So
let's be real with each other. There's much more that needs to be done other than every time blocking us from moving.
What will that be? The only thing that bothers me about the directives is the curfew.
We've been here several times and I've told you, testing and screening and also emphasizing these things that people must social distance. Mm-hmm. Not even just from public spaces, but even from a point where families need to be involved in this thing.
Speaking of which, have you gotten your vaccination?
Am I supposed to get vaccination in the first round?
Yes, you are. You are a Kenyan. You are entitled to vaccination. They are encouraging us to get vaccinated.
There's a specific
These vaccines
age
have been
bracket.
bought by our government for us, and it is free in the public hospital.
There's a specific age bracket that has been told to go fast. Yeah. I will allow them to go fast. The other day...
what if they're not going? Utaka tu kingoja all the elderly people waende.
Yes, until at that point where I'm told now everyone should be getting it. And just today, the one who's been given in charge of provision of these vaccinations all over the country was saying we won't have met the threshold by the time it gets to 2021 because where we meet a threshold is 60% and the best they can do by 2021 is 25 million people.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I don't know about you, Timo, but I intend to get vaccinated.
I intend to get vaccinated also. Yeah. But once they give the clearance for anyone to get vaccinated and others to like anyone can do it and not at this point where other people have been prioritized. Mm-hmm. Nita do the necessary that needs to be done.
But meanwhile, you're maintaining social
distance,
avoiding gatherings.
Exactly.
Church ni virtual.
Banze.
Weddings, funerals, uendi.
Ya nini?
Okay.
Mumeoana, nitatuma kitu.
That's it.
Ametuacha. Nitaomboleza na nyinyi lakini sitakuwa mwenye anasaidia kuchangia wengine wa nini.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So I think the issue here is I hate that whatever they're doing is not helping the situation as such because one, there's a whole industry that is hurting.
The hotel industry.
Hotel industry, entertainment industry,
Restaurants.
restaurants. They're all hurting.
Oh yeah, nightlife
Yeah.
industry. That's an
Yeah.
industry.
It's an industry by in itself,
But
but we're
yeah,
not going to discuss
nightlife.
it.
No, but of course it's suffering. The DJs, the waiters and waitresses,
Oh, that's the nightlife you were saying.
Nightlife clubs.
Oh,
Basically clubs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What? Hey, you
Yes,
got
they
me
are.
off guard, but I was thinking about something different.
That's nightlife, yeah?
Yeah.
These are places which make money
Yeah.
most of the time at night
And
because of the nature of business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been very clear about it. Screening and testing is the main thing that we need to do. Once you understand that you have it, isolate. And that's where the basic family unit comes into play, where you can isolate and reduce the speed at which it is spreading. The other day, we see other people being given leeways to do things. There's a restaurant that this guy, an MP from Kiambu, what's his name? Moses Kuria was being arrested the other day because he had an event that he was hosting at a hotel that should be closed. But no manager from the hotel is being arrested for even allowing this thing to happen. You know?
Yeah.
Big issues that need to be addressed from a point of there are people who are spreading them because they have leeway. I'm not going to talk about the restaurant because it is also alleged that it was owned by an MP who passed away because of COVID.
Wow.
You see?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. We've seen South Korea do it. We've seen New Zealand do it. We've seen Japan do it, where they have forced isolation and they forced people to make sure that there's screening and there's testing. We're now focusing on the vaccine more. We've left about the issues of screening and testing. Medical people will come. We will be forced again to wait until May 29th. Go back to the same process.
But don't you think, desperate times call for desperate measures, and I think this was one of those desperate times, dire circumstances. Again, I haven't been following the updates from the Ministry of Health, but I also know that countries like UK, US, I think Ireland, they have listed Kenya as a danger zone in terms of COVID-19. Issuing advisories to their citizens, telling them do not travel to Kenya or travel to Kenya at your own risk.
I saw the UK one.
Yeah.
And I saw the US one.
Yeah.
The US one was even forcing from a security point.
Yeah, for level 4.
Yeah, level 4 in
So
terms of
level
security.
4 is the highest.
Yes. But they
And
pointed out the areas.
In the UK, at least the UK one, I think they are our minister, our cabinet secretary for foreign affairs is trying to sort it out with the
It's been turned into an economic thing where we retaliate,
No, really, that's how international relations work. Now, when they come up with such measures against Kenya, against Kenyans, then it is necessary for Kenya to also act. And I was very proud of our country. By the way, I was very proud of our country for also retaliating. It's called reciprocity in international relations.
Okay.
Ukifanya hivi, tunafanya hivi.
Manzo unajua kwenye natoka hiyo jina hata siwezi ka attempt kuisema. I will butcher it so badly. But all I'm saying is we are trying to stop a bleeding, right? But the way we're trying to stop it is not helping because once we open again, the wound will open. We're not trying to stop the bleeding completely. I feel like if this is how we're going to do things, there'll be a COVID, there'll be cessation of movement season 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 until I still emphasize there's an easier way to go about things, which is screening, testing, and isolation.
Okay.
There's maintaining social distance, making sure that you wear a mask, hand washing, simple things that should slow this thing down and making it a priority for every individual to do it. If the private sector will come and say, hey, Nikubaya, you need to lock down the area, they should be asked, what have you done to ensure that it is not spreading? The same people in the private sector are the ones who expect you to be at work without any package that helps you when you get the virus. So you will fake and say that you're not sick, you're okay, and come to work. Right? They haven't been asked, what relief do you give your workers when they get infected? What are you doing for your workers in terms of screening and testing? The same private sector will cry foul. You see? But they were allowed to continue with their 24-hour economy while the country is in lockdown. So what kind of help are we doing? is it justifiable? We need to do more. That's all I'm saying. I agree there's a problem. But how we are trying to stop the problem is the issue, because it won't help.
But okay, fine.
We can place a bet here on the show. Tukifunga tena tuwekele pesa, because it happen tena kama
Of
ni the
course,
same problem.
no, most likely it will happen. And you see, unfortunately, very many sectors are suffering. Of course, other than, of course, the hotel industry, as you mentioned, nightlife, education. Education, I'm told the ones who just got their results yesterday, KCPA students have to wait for 101 days before they can join. There's by the way, being a law student, I also know this. The bar exams were postponed, so now I'm not even sure whether I can even join the bar school.
You can,
that's
yeah,
Kenya
you
School
know.
of Law. So again, and of course, I'm not growing any younger. You know, some of us are waiting to just tick that box, and then now we can think about marriage.
Bana, maybe unaambia move into another career now.
Manzi. Yeah? We're just waiting to tick KSL, done.
Oh, it was
Then we move.
KSL, then
But
wedding.
now, nabidi to.
But yeah,
But anyway, yeah.
it's a large group of people who are affected, and I assure you, the one thing that is I'm crying foul about is the fact that we're not screening and testing enough and sensitizing people on the fact that we need to do more. When you get it, you isolate, ensuring the measures that are taken. You know, people calling for these things.
But can Kenyans really do that? Can they subject themselves to screening and testing? You see, what happens, and I'm sure you've done it, I've also done it, you get the symptoms, immediately self-prescription.
Flu gone.
Flu gone, sijui
Na unarudi job.
azithromycin or something.
Na unaendelea kusteam.
The steaming, the concoction, this dawa, you know.
Kozo huwezi kaacha kukula.
And it has also been proven. Actually, scientists and doctors have confirmed that, it is possible that you can get COVID and recover without even noticing that you had it. Or maybe you dealt with it at the time. You only thought it was a cough, but it was actually COVID loading, but you are still able to deal with it.
But you're still able to deal with it.
I personally
And see, that's why
will
I'm
not
saying.
consider testing and screening as a first option. No,
If
I
you know you
wouldn't.
can get it without even knowing that you got it and you recover from it, if screening and testing was there, you would have known that you've got it so that you don't spread it to someone else. You get me? That's the thing I'm pointing out. Because people, and then number two, the government is not helping with any relief to the people. Right? There's no relief being given to the people when these things comes. Because when you take it to, when they tried voluntary testing and they went to Kawangware, guys said, musikuja hapa kunipima kama unipei chakula. You know? There should be. And I don't know if it's from a national level or from a county level, where if these things happen and people have filed and written that, I have lost my job, I have been told to wait until some certain period to see if jobs will get back, there should be relief. Government is not offering relief. It's just raising taxes on things.
And getting more COVID loans. I mean,
Unajua?
what's the purpose of the loans? I mean, just get the loan, then come cushion Kenyans from the...
Bei ya mafuta siku hizi na temperature ya weather manze zinashindana. Unajua? Zinaenda tu zikipanda.
Niliona, I think there was a feature, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, that say that Kenyans need to be prepared for more fuel price hikes.
And
it's gonna happen. We cannot
is
avoid
just
it.
giving us a relief for this month. If that price sticks the same for next month, it will rise up to 128 for super.
Tricky. But
It's
that's
a
our
clear
Kenya.
situation. So you tell me at people should be closed down and it will help. To what extent?
Speaking of which, loans.
Ah.
We got a loan, a COVID loan, another COVID loan.
Did you sign?
No, I did not sign that petition. I did not even talk about it on social media.
Producer, did you sign the petition?
Why would I
It's a waste
sign
of
that
time.
petition? Did you sign the petition?
For what?
Why would I? These people who are launching this petition and sending funny images to the world that is so and so is not allowed to transact on behalf of Kenya are the same women ule people. Yes.
I won't go to that political point where you want.
No, that's my opinion.
But
No, and I'm not saying that it's them. I'm saying it's us. Like it's a burden that we all bear.
It's collective.
It's collective, because
okay.
it matters not who you know, whether or not I voted or whom I voted for. But point still remains: whoever is in office for me, there's a social contract between me and the government. So it is this government that I put in office. Again, like I said, it's collective. It matters not at it's. We already did it. The damage is done. Yeah, and I think, I don't know if it's Ndi who's been saying it. You can only now resolve this at the ballot.
Period.
Yeah, but now that we already did it in 2017, now let's live with the consequences. It's sad, it's unfortunate, too bad for us, but we have another chance in 2022.
I think it's
Turn
important.
out in large numbers and, think
think it's
about
important.
putting in office people who have your interests at heart. People who think about wakiweka curfew 8, you utasimama pale archives hadi sijui sangapi. Otherwise, I did not sign that petition because I know I am to blame as a Kenyan, just like many other Kenyans are to blame because of the people we put in office. Collectively, it matters not whom you voted for back then.
I think it's important to tell people why we didn't sign the petition also. Because
why I didn't sign.
Because from a collective point, we know that the only way that we can stop it is at the ballot. And there was a funny clip that some guy tried to call IMF, trying to tell them about stopping the loan, and you had the clip, and it just pointed out clearly what we were trying to say. And I had groups of people on my WhatsApp who sent it to me, trying to tell me to sign the petition, but I told them it's a waste of time because from the IMF's point, and I asked my producer the other time, wewe babako akiendea loan, utaenda kustop bank kuchukua loan? Bank inashughulikaje na hiyo story?
But it can happen in a family setup. In a family setup, a wife can actually stop a bank from giving loan to her husband.
A wife, but I'm saying the kid.
Tricky.
Yeah, you've sent a representative there. He's decided to pick up the loans, and you're going to blame the bank. The bank will give the loan. Because from only your representative can stop it.
This issue just brought up a lot of, questions. I was even wondering, IMF is an institution of the United Nations, mainly funded by the US, yeah? And because it is under the United Nations, the preamble of the UN is always we, the people of the United Nations. That's the preamble of the UN Charter. I don't know, why couldn't IMF just give Kenyans some sort of allowance to give their views? Because of course, Kenyans, we are Kenyans. Whether you give us a chance or not, we will tell you what we think. But the question is, after all the noise that Kenyans made, did IMF even consider it? Did it take our noise into consideration?
No way.
IMF needs to be reviewed. If you ask me,
no,
that's one of the things. I feel
you are the same person who said, when you send your representative there, he or she stands there as your country.
Yes.
And
of
IMF
course.
listens to this person.
Yes.
Because he or she represents your country.
Perhaps we need to review.
The IMF and the United Nations cannot sit down and listen to all 47 million of Kenyans.
Yeah.
You will send your representative.
They need to maybe sort of reform the United Nations
Kenyans.
and give more space to
Kenyans,
the people,
is
people
up
to speak.
You.
Because now,
Ndi has made it clear. Hata tukishout all 47 million of us.
social
as long
media,
as we are the
ati
ones.
Twitter,
Yes.
Facebook, at Play Store. People downloaded the IMF only to give it 1-star rating.
Just to give it a
copy.
rating. Won't help. There are other countries who are asking money from these people. So at the end of the day, jueni shida sio IMF ni representative. And if we can't petition, I wished the petition would be more about going back to the ballot and removing the representative. You know?
Yeah.
Because he's now playing with us. And we made it clear also twice. Second thing that we made clear about these loans. Loans are not bad. But there should be an audit of when they get here.
Mm-hmm.
And they should be a substantial way. It might not be a full-on package, but it should be substantial as to how we are going to pay it back. Because we need to be under the cap where they've told us about debt over GDP, the ratio. Should be clear. If it's gone above, let's stop it, man. We're going to hurt ourselves. Number two, where are we asking for this development? Have we invited private sector guys into the play? Have we enough infrastructure that is bringing revenue to us? Because just building the roads doesn't mean that the revenue immediately comes. It takes some time. If I'm going to take a loan to build a road and I'm being told to repay this loan by 7 years, 1 plus 1 doesn't connect, you know.
Yeah.
It has to repay it via opportunities that have come up
As a
economic.
result of
Yes,
that road.
of that loan. So these are the things that we should be asking, auditing, and where is the money going to bring back these things? Instead of us wasting time with IMF, let IMF do its job, manze. It has a lot of people to give loans to. If we play with the money that they give us, that's the issue. It's not IMF.
No, then we pay. Now the problem is, yes, the money gets here, and after that we have to pay for the loan collectively as Kenyans. Yet sometimes, actually, most of the time, because of corruption, only a few individuals get to enjoy. Oh, COVID loan, COVID millionaires. I mean, really.
But Wakili, let's agree on one thing. We are the same people who don't go to vote thinking that it is helping us. And then tukikulwa hizi madeni, lala kwa nyumba ukaacha mtu mwingine apite.
Yeah.
Kumera ilishinda kwa sababu wenye walikuwa nafaa kuenda kwa ballot back again wafight hawakufanya what was deserved.
Waliambiwa wasiende. Hawakuenda. Of course, we still needed to have a president. Yeah. So now let's deal with it.
When you go through the process, you can see that there are those who are coming to this judiciary not to have their cases heard, but just to cause delay and maybe to embarrass or to serve outer purposes. But the judiciary should have that focus. Whatever case is brought in is brought for a good purpose, and hear it as fast as you can.
I am very, very simple. Simplicity is a hallmark of my life. I have never requested for any security for Chuka. If anybody tells you that, if it is in my writing, let me look at that. I have never requested any security for Nyeri. I have never requested for any security for Kericho. I have never requested for any security for Eldoret. The few months that I lived there, about 2 years, security is not my fancy. Even as Chief Justice, it will not be an issue to me. You might want to force me into it. The government might want to force me into it, but that one we would have to negotiate. I am not insecure whatsoever.
I'd be open to negotiating that recurrent expenditure could actually be out there, but can we have something in the judiciary fund so that the judiciary is able to execute its function?
Very good. So whom are you engaging?
I am engaging the executive and the legislature.
Specific, the legislature?
The committee, that there is a JLAC.
JLAC means what?
The judicial, the law, it is the committee in parliament that deals with law.
I'm here because of my mother. She worked hardest to bring me to where I am today, and I'm grateful. So that is Philip Murgo. For that reason, I will tell you this, and I am not apologetic at all. I am an avowed gender equalist. I believe in the equality of women with men. I believe in the equality of girls to their fellow children, the boy child. And it brings me, and it will perhaps bring me in this same conversation into certain explanations that I will give why I may not attract the sympathies of those who are male chauvinists or those who feel the woman is a lesser person in this country or the girl is a lesser child. So that is Philip Murgo.
These interviews, though, I think the ones that I really, really watched are the ones for today, for Philip Murgo and Justice Chitembe. And of course, when Justice Chitembe was on the seat, we were reminded of a judgment that he delivered back in 2012, Martin Charo versus R. It has sparked a debate amongst feminists,
for sure,
legal scholars
for
also.
Sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I think I'm sad that your hopeful never applied, Nancy Baraza. But I'm glad that Martha Koome is back there.
Yeah, Martha Koome.
Trial. She has some issues also.
I don't know. I was not able to watch her interview because of work.
Yeah, but it's good to see her also trying again.
Yeah. At
I-
least there's a lady in the race. I think there are two.
Yeah.
There's Martha Koome and there's an advocate.
There's another advocate, yeah.
Alice Yano.
Yeah. But I'm glad that
Actually, there are three. Professor Kameri Mbote.
yeah. I think for me, what was good about it is that she didn't feel like she missed it last time and she can't try again.
Yeah.
She applied a second time because both from the panelists, from the ones shortlisted, I think she's the only one who has tried to apply for it twice.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that was interesting for me. Just seeing her have a go at it again and facing this panel one more time.
Yeah, and social media, okay, Kenyans, we love to talk. And unfortunately or unfortunately, Kenyans are of the opinion that the interviews are shambolic because they believe that a candidate has already been chosen.
Mm-hmm.
They believe, actually, from what I've been seeing on Twitter, most Kenyans on Twitter, of course, believe that this position has it's already been decided that Ngache is gonna be the CJ, and I don't know. I'm not comfortable with what Kenyans are doing because, it means this actually, in a way, impedes. In the event that Ngache is actually the best candidate, then in a sense, it might impede his appointment as CJ because either the president now will not appoint him just so as not to keep himself from validating what Kenyans are saying. But in the event that he actually gets appointed, then it's again Kenyans will say si tulisema si. I don't know that you understand.
I get you for sure, and I think
and I don't think it's right,
right
especially for him as an individual, because now it's either you will get it, and when you get it, people won't believe in you; they'll believe it's because you knew someone up there, or in the event that you're the best candidate of all the 10 candidates, you're actually the best candidate and you deserve. This person will keep himself from appointing you just so as not to validate what Kenyans are saying. I feel like Kenyans, as we make our comments, also think about the individual. Think about the individual.
They should have at least allowed him to go through the interview and see his credibility.
Exactly. Now his interview is scheduled for next week. I think it should be interviewed next Wednesday.
Even when you're in the judiciary, you're serving the interest of the public. Whatever perception has been put there shouldn't be in such a case. But then again, let's just be clear on these things. If he goes through the test and people don't feel like he's valid, and it goes through the National Assembly now for them to put their recommendation in, they should also factor in what the people feel. I think at the end of the day, also the public has a say in who is put there, because the previous judges public has not had an issue with them, and they have proven to be credible when they got into office. So if one has an issue where some sense of credibility is not felt, at the end of the day, the judiciary is serving the interest of the public.
Now, I'm trying to get a quote. There's a quote by Professor Lumumba that really made sense to me. Because again, the other thing Kenyans are really looking at with the current recruitment that's going on by JSC is also there's the tribal aspect of it.
Part of it.
Yeah, that they want to check, okay, so it's gonna be so and so because he comes from such and such a tribe.
Yeah.
And then there's a quote that I saw from PLO. I don't know if it's really from PLO, but and I can't find it right now.
Okay.
But it's where he says that we must not sacrifice, I think, merit at the altar of ethnicity or something.
For sure.
That we must not keep ourselves from appointing person A because person A is from this tribe, yet he's qualified. Provided that he's qualified, he meets the qualifications, he's earned his position by merit, then let's give it to him without really thinking about what tribe he comes from.
For sure.
Yeah, because that's what the code says, that we must not, we cannot always be all about ethnicity. What group do you come from? Exactly. So we are giving you this position because you come from this ethnic group. No, it should be about merit. The position of a CG is a very important position. That The person who becomes CJ is the president of the judiciary, is the president of the Supreme Court, is the president of the JSC. This is the person who manages the justice system that serves you. You know, when we talk about Article 48, access to justice, your right to access justice, you access that justice that is managed by the CJ, who's the manager at the top. Yeah.
It was one of the things that...
So we need someone who's very qualified, someone who's experienced, who's able to, a leader. Actually, a leader. We also need a leader. It needs
just credibility.
Yeah.
As per your terms and your previous experiences working there.
Yeah. So can we just put aside this whole Kenyans, my fellow Kenyans, this whole notion of
Kenyans.
ethnicity? Can we just forget about ethnic groups? Can we also stop predicting or forcing a prediction so and so will be CJ because he comes from such and such a tribe? Can we just stop that and watch all these interviews? Then maybe from next week Saturday we can talk, because after Saturday all applicants will have been interviewed. Then we can start imagining these are the names JSC will be forwarding, because what happens is that JSC will now shortlist the candidates, choose the best 3 candidates, and then forward the names to the president. Then the president will make an appointment with the approval of the National Assembly, as is provided by the Constitution. I don't want to get into the specific article, but that is the process. That JSC now will choose 3 names, of course, from the best candidates in their opinion, then forward the names to the president. Then the president should appoint 1 name in accordance, subject to the approval of the National Assembly.
All right.
Yeah. So again, I hope based on what I've said, you have seen what I meant by separation of powers, yet still these institutions are supposed to work together. Because the president is the executive. We're talking about appointment of the head of the other arm of government, judiciary, subject to the National Assembly's approval. That's the legislature. This is how they're supposed to work together.
Very true.
Yeah.
Tuache kusikiza KOT sana. KOT manze, at times pia kumbuka
tunazidi. Sometimes we're good, like we tried with IMF.
And at times someone is just pushing their own agenda so they can pay bloggers. Nowadays we've seen enough bloggers who are paid just to say something. And they take the money. I mean, credibility also for KOT nowadays. They don't really make me get... they don't influence me that much, because I have to sit back and that's why I wasn't ready to sign things like those petitions, because it wasn't from an uninformed point. It was more. So, I mean, I agree with you. Let's listen to the interviews as they come. I remember even yesterday, Martha Kome's credibility was questioned at some point on some certain issues. And we can factor in. But yeah, umepata nini PLO Kenya alisema
Akisipati.
Aya.
But tukipata you'll see it, I think, on the description.
Definitely. We'll post it somewhere. Producer atatuambia kama ita work, but we'll definitely share it with our listeners. Yeah, I think that's been a very eventful one. There's a lot of things we haven't even touched on. Maybe need to be addressed later on. You know, our issues with Somalia have been crazy.
Yeah.
We are trying to close down the refugee camps. What else has been there? What am I missing out?
I think we've touched on pretty much everything, of course.
We have.
COVID.
Yeah.
COVID-19, of course, as usual. I think one of the main political kingpins in Kenya got COVID and was like, I don't know how I got COVID-19. I've not been attending political rallies.
Then
Joke of
like,
the year.
Really now? Yeah. Yeah, I think we have done justice.
Okay. I think I found the quote. Dear Kenyans, in search for a chief justice, we must not, on the excuse of diversity, sacrifice merit at the altar of ethnicity.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think it's been a good one. There's a lot more that I haven't even touched on what KQ have been doing. Sinking boat again. There's a lot we could have addressed, but we will share some of them
maybe next
later on as they unfold.
Yeah, and we are still looking for an economist to join our show. Whereby we'll discuss this whole issue about debts, public debts, and how these debts impact our lives positively and negatively, directly and indirectly. I think it's important that we have this discussion so that we are able to understand why IMF gives us loans the way they give us loans. This loan thing bothers me. As much as I did not sign the petition, Tima was bothered. I saw, I think on Citizen, the collaterals for that loan.
Yes.
They want Kenya Airways, Kenya Ports Authority, Kenya Power, KenGen, 3 of Kenya's biggest universities. In the event that we actually lose all these things because we are unable to pay the loan, who's going to be the loser? Some of these people are wealthy. These people going for those loans are wealthy.
Are you an economist out there? Do you feel like you can help us tackle this issue and inform people more? Please let us know. Hit us up on our channels.
Acute Media. Acute with a Q on Twitter.
Yes.
On Instagram.
Yeah. Let us know. We are looking forward to have you just share with us and help us understand this situation better so that I don't come and just make noise here every time when I tell people the loan is not the issue. Help me make clear and knowledgeable information to the public. And if you're there and you have questions on all these issues that we are tackling in terms of the loans that we have, in terms of all the governing bodies that are giving us these things, and the government going ahead and just picking up loan after loan,
Yeah.
Parliament put our cap at 9 trillion again.
Yeah, they did. So I think, is it last year, November?
Yeah. Help us understand these things so that we can give more information from a point of understanding and so that people can understand it even better. Yeah. Tumeacha kitu?
Sidhani.
Sibasi ufunge isho.
It's been amazing, guys. Have an amazing weekend. Remember to see your life. Think about your life. Remember, as you make your bed, so must you lie on it. Remember that you can only save yourself. Not only, but the biggest opportunity you have to save yourself, an opportunity that you should not waste, is 2022. August, I think, the second Tuesday of August 2022. Then you can save yourself. Then you can make informed choices. Because again, as you make your bed, so must you lie on it. Think about your life. Think about your choices. That's it from me. I am Elsie. I have been the co-host.
Tivo is my name. It's been a good one. We will see you next time.